Hey everybody, Doug Phillis, founder of Accelerate Sports Ventures. Tonight on NIL 360 EDU, we're talking brand and finances with NFL linebacker Devon Kennard. Let's go. Really excited tonight to have a special guest, Devon Kennard, with us talking about You Are Your Own Brand. Devon, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be able to talk to everybody today.
Well, thank you for joining us. We're really excited to get into it. You know, obviously want to talk about how you're approaching brand, both on the field and off the field. Talk about, your high school and college playing days, and then maybe what you're thinking about related off the field, not only from endorsements, but I know you're doing a lot from a business standpoint as well as philanthropic standpoint.
Having a strong brand is super important, especially nowadays where, it's every facet of your life. It's who you are. It's your reputation. It's what you bring to the table. Being in the NFL, playing football, I want you to be able to watch the game and the way that I play. That's a part of my brand as well. I want the things you say when you see me play. Oh, he always runs to the ball. He's a really hard worker. He seems like a very disciplined player. Those are the things I want to be described as, on the field, and they translate off as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Devon. I mean, when we look at brand, that's exactly how we describe it, is reputation. And when you think about the way you just described your on-field brand, tell us how it complements your off-field brand and the way that you are perceived by your fans and the people within the community.
I want them to be able to coexist together. On the football field, I'm in a different mode. I'm locked in. I like to be described as, relentless and intelligent football player, all of those things. But off the field, intelligence and being able to be well-spoken, to have great conversations, have a lot to offer. And, I just really value and understand the fact that when you're an athlete, and especially a professional athlete playing at the highest level, but even in high school and college, when you're an athlete and you're excelling, people are going to be more interested in you while you're playing sports and while you're involved in that sports than they are at any other time in your life. So take advantage. And I feel like that's one thing I've always kind of been aware of, even when I was in high school, then to college, and now in the pros. So when it's off the field stuff, I try to leverage the position I'm in. I'm Devon Kennard, eighth year NFL veteran. The doors that can open, the relationships that I'm able to build. And, I want the rest of my character to take over from there. And now, all right, I have this brand and these people are willing to talk to me because of what I do. But once they get to know me, hopefully I can keep that door open far beyond my playing career.
You bring up so many great points there, Devon, right? Like, let's talk about networking. You are leveraging these relationships that you're creating, right? Whether it was your time at USC or all the people that you're able to meet throughout the NFL and your experience there. Talk about how you contemplate and utilize networking as an advantage for you.
Too many guys wait till it's too late to try to build those relationships. And, while you're playing sports, that you can open so many doors for yourself off the field as well. And the whole concept of you got to just be locked in on one thing and just ball. It's outdated in my opinion. Like one thing can be your overall lifestyle plan. Like, I got a game plan for my life and it involves football, but it's not just football. So, that whole plan A and don't worry about plan B. Well, what if plan A is all encompassing? It encompasses your NFL career. It encompasses what you want to do off the field. That's all a part of plan A. And you can start executing on that immediately. And I think having a father who played in the NFL, it kind of helped me. But that's something I recognize at a young age. And I try to teach kids that and talk to people all the time is it's never too early to start to look at life that way, to build a brand that reflects that. So you just have so many opportunities on the field and off.
Devon, let's go back and talk about your high school career. One of the most highly sought after high school recruits in the country, went to one of the best programs in the country, USC. Why don't you just talk about that journey for a little bit and how you would approach it today, right? If you had to think about your brand back then.
To be honest, there's not a ton I would necessarily change because I actually feel like to be a young kid in high school, I had the right perspective. I got good grades. For whatever reason, the whole jock thing where like, oh, he's probably just a football player and doesn't get good grades, or the teachers always have preferential treatment. That always bothered me. So I wanted to not only pass, but I wanted to really excel in the classroom. So I actually graduated high school with straight A's, and I had one B all high school. And every time I see that teacher who gave me a B, I give him a hard time. Like, are you serious? It was like an 88% or something like that. But that's the perspective I had, and a part of my brand is I wanted to be exceptional in every aspect of my life. I think people mess up when they try to pigeonhole themselves and it's like, oh, I'm going to be a great athlete. Being a great son, being a great student, being a great friend, all of those in indirect ways impact the player that I am. So, having a perspective where I'm going to try to excel in all facets is important. And I think I had that in college, but I was also humbled when I was in high school because I was a top recruit, but my senior year of high school, I tore my ACL. And that was a really humbling experience. And it gave me even more insight on like, all right, I can't tether my entire identity to the game of football. I have to be more than a football player because at that point in my life, I was connected too much to the game. I tied all my success, all my like pride in myself to the game of football. When that was stripped away from me, it was really hard. And I was like, who am I without the game? And it made me ask myself tough questions and figure that out. And I came through the other side.
That's incredible. And I love what you said there about being exceptional in every part of your life. And when you think about your own brand and what you're doing now off the field, right, as a businessman, I know you talk about mailbox money, right? Share a little bit about that with the audience.
Fast forward to now, and I wanted to find ways. As soon as I got into the NFL, like, all right, I knew the NFL, a lot of people say it stands for not for long. So I was a fifth round draft pick. A lot of scouts said, oh, he's only going to be a special teams guy. He's not going to play any defense. He's going to have a short career. And I didn't think that was going to be the truth at all. But at the same time, I knew that this league can be a vicious league, and you never know how long you're going to play or what injuries you may encounter. So as soon as I got in the league, I was trying to figure out, what other avenues am I going to be able to pursue, and how can I leverage relationships and the amount of money? And even if I only played 1 year in the NFL, I was going to be a 21 or 22-year-old at the time, making a lot more money than most people my age were making. So I was going to give myself some type of jump start, and what am I going to do with it? And real estate was the answer for me. I bought my first property with a partner, just trying to get our feet wet. And I never looked back. I now own 15 properties. I'm in another 25 deals, real estate deals across the country, where I've invested in other people's deals. And when I am done playing, between that and public speaking is going to be kind of what I do. So having that direction and insight, but still being able to keep football the main thing for me, and like my number one focus has been important, and I structured my whole life with that in mind.
It all starts with financial literacy. And I know you have really it's a big part of your brand. I know you're out there helping so many young people learn about financial literacy. Would you talk a little bit about that, Devon?
I think it's pivotal, and I think it's a shame that our education system doesn't teach that. You learn so much in school, and I don't care what your job is. I don't care if you want to be a firefighter, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a doctor. We all have to deal with finances. We're all going to have to figure out how to take a loan out on a house one day. We're all going to have to write a check. We're all going to have to try to get a credit card, open bank accounts. There's things that go beyond what your profession is, and we don't dive into it enough in the classroom. And in a lot of cultures, especially in minority cultures across this country, it's kind of taboo to talk about finances. Oh, don't be pocket watching somebody else. Money doesn't grow on trees. Stay out of grown folks' business. All those things that you hear in urban communities, and it's a shame. And I realize, true wealthy people, they're teaching their kids these things. Their kids understand these concepts. They're letting their kids into the business, and I want to expose that to all kids. I want kids from from all kinds of backgrounds to understand financial literacy, to know how to do basic things, to know what an asset and a liability is, to understand what student loans can do to you. Is going to USC when you're not on scholarship really worth it when you can end up in $200,000 or more of college? Personally, I don't think so. If my kids don't get a scholarship, then they're probably not going to a school like that. So those are the things that I think we need to talk about more with kids and help them understand that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All of the things you touched on, right? Assets, liabilities, how to open up a credit card, how to manage a credit card, understanding debt. There's so many pieces to the financial aspect of life that you get such a late start on because it's not taught early enough. And I think I applaud you for all of the great work you're doing. And, we look forward to working closely with you to help educate as many people as we can, right? Athletes, non-athletes, to learn about how to manage their money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I'm passionate about. I think that's a part of, while I was put on this earth, you got to kind of gravitate towards the things you're passionate about. And that's it for me. I think this day and age, it's easier than it's ever been to become a millionaire. And that's just the truth. You see more and more people doing it in so many different ways. And every single person is going to become that. But you can take steps to become financially independent, to improve your financial decision. If you make a decision today, however much debt you're in, however bad your financial standing is right now, if you make a decision to change things, to start to educate yourself, I guarantee a year from now you'll be in a better place than you are now. And I believe in compound interest, and that works in growing your money, but it also works in growing habits and losing weight in every aspect. I think it's Albert Einstein that says, compounding interest is the greatest phenomenon in the world. And I firmly believe that, but it applies to every aspect of your life. If you compound and you invest in yourself and you invest in learning certain things, you're going to start to see results and your life improve if you give it some time.
It's so important to be authentic when you think about brand. And you are the picture perfect example of that, right? You're passionate about some really important things. And that's who you are, and that's who you're out trying to help. Could you expand upon that?
Yeah, I think it's important for everyone to kind of realize what they are passionate about. There's, in my opinion, a lot of people out there, being fake or just doing stuff because they think they have to. And for me, I wanted to find things that I enjoy, that I love, that I really believe in. And I want my brand to speak on that. Early in my career, I was scared to be as vocal about some of these things as I am now, because it's like I didn't want people to think I'm not focused on football. But I'm past that now. I spend a lot of time taking care of my body. I'm training hard. I'm doing all these things. But I can't train 16 hours a day. I can't, there's more hours in the day, and what am I doing with those times? And these are things that are important to me: creating mailbox money, investing in real estate, public speaking, financial literacy. All these things are light a fire under me, and things that I'm passionate about, I love to do, and it fits with who I am and who I want to be. So, leave room in your life and for yourself for those things that are important.
One of the questions that came in from Matt asked, who did you turn to gain financial literacy coming up in high school, college, and early on in the NFL?
Early on, I just kind of realized, I grew up with a father who played in the league, and I can't say we talked about it a ton, but I did identify the issue that a lot of his teammates and just being really interested in sports that so many athletes struggled with. And then one thing that was clear for me when I tore my ACL my senior year of high school, I had to ask myself a question, and it was like, is the life that I want to live connected solely to football, or do I want to live this life regardless? And for me, it's like I wanted to be able to live in a nice home. I wanted to be able to drive a nice car. I wanted to be able to, freedom is what I've wanted. I think financial independence and having an abundance of finances essentially comes down to freedom. I wanted to be able to choose what my day looks like. If I want to go on a summer vacation with my family, I can just do that. And I realized, all right, well, I want to do that, and football was always going to be the means for me, But if it doesn't work out, am I just giving up on what I want my life to look like? Well, no. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to do that, and that's what kind of sparked the idea. And I started reading books, listening to podcasts, watching videos on YouTube, and networking. Once I got to college, I realized I was like, look, I go to USC. I want to connect with as many people as I possibly can and figure out what I want to do. So I have a couple of mentors. He was a policeman and his wife was a teacher, and they now own over 1,000 units in California, um, like all over Los Angeles. And they started out buying one home and then another and just got really good at the business, started buying apartment complexes. I'm like, if they were able to do that on a teacher and a police officer salary, why can't I? And, I just started learning as much as I could from him and from others like him and never looked back.
Devon, we've had a name come in related to name, image, and likeness, right? And obviously there's some rule changes that are going to be taking place in the next few months related to college athletes being able to do endorsement deals, start their own business. The question being, if you were in college right now, would you be taking advantage of the opportunities with name, image, and likeness?
Absolutely. If I was in college right now, I'd probably spend a few dollars starting my own LLC, running all the marketing money I could through an LLC, and if I can generate some real money, now you can write off a lot of things in your life through the LLC. There's services called a couple services where you can do like videos for people and they pay you, like you can set your own price. I forget there's a few different websites and stuff that you can do that kind of stuff for. And at the college level, you have people who are diehard fans of that university, of that team. So I think some of those college kids are going to be able to make just as much as some professionals make, because like they're just so sought after. Because, oh my gosh, the star quarterback for LSU, and I could get them to come to my bar mitzvah and say hello for a second. Oh, you're going to have people like willing to open up their wallet for things like that. So I would definitely try to take advantage everywhere I could. And I'm excited for those kids because not all of them are going to make it to the NFL, but if they can take advantage and put themselves in position by generating some revenue and really creating brands for themselves, as we're talking about, branding, you can leverage that in a huge way.
Yeah, I totally agree, Devon. We're talking about NIL every day in our business, and it's about opportunity. And all of these student athletes, whether you're a 5-star recruit or a walk-on, are going to have the ability to go out, leverage networking opportunities, leverage the fan base, leverage all of the different things that they're doing, whether they're really artistic, maybe they're great at music, and really leverage all of these different things off the field to generate some name, image, and likeness revenue.
Absolutely. And social media is at the forefront of that. If you utilize the social media and the fan base that your university has, get as many followers as you can, try to create great content between football pictures and then just organic good content that whatever your lane is, if you can post, gain a really nice following. Even if you don't make it to the league, there's social media influencers out there that are making tons of money, 6 figures on marketing deals and just leveraging so many opportunities. And then like you can almost take the perspective of these people, like, oh, you watch The Bachelor show and all these reality TV shows. Well, yes, they're getting paid for that, but a large reason why they're going on these shows is the awareness it brings to them and the followers that they bring and the marketing. Well, college athletes can start to use the college platform the same way and leverage that to create opportunities for themselves off the field. So it's so much opportunity. I'm excited to see how creative some of these kids get, and I hope they start making a ton of money.
You brought up LLCs, and LLCs are so critical in terms of protecting you, right? Making sure your personal assets can't be touched, but also creating some tax advantages. And I think it goes without saying, when you started your businesses off the field, you absolutely set up an LLC.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a marketing LLC. I have LLCs for the real estate properties that I own. I have in every separate entity I try to create an LLC for. It gets tricky with real estate. You can technically try to buy or start a new LLC with every property you own. But when you're buying single family homes, that could get a little ridiculous. So I kind of have a rule of I'll buy anywhere from 4 to 6 homes under one LLC, and then I gotta start a new one. I try to run as much through my LLCs because there's tax advantages, like you said, and protection. You want to protect yourself in every way that you can. And I think it's a great tool to be able to use.
Couldn't agree more, Devon. Let me finish with this. Any advice you have for 18 to 22-year-olds who are playing football and need to start thinking about their brand, need to start thinking about financial literacy, the advice you would offer to them?
Start now, and you can be extremely dedicated to the game of football and still figuring out what you're going to do outside of it. Don't let society or anyone else tell you that you have to be tunnel vision and locked in on football, because if football doesn't work out, none of those people are going to be there helping you when you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. So do what's best for you, be authentic and be yourself and stay true to your brand and decide what that brand is. Decide the life you want to live and make sure that everything you do is in line with that brand. And last thing I'll say is habits. Are your habits in line with the goals that you have in your life? You say you want to play in the NFL, but are you skipping reps on the bench? It's supposed to be 4x6 and you're doing 4x4. Are you not touching the line on the sprints? Are you just doing what everybody else is doing? I was always told that if I'm doing what everybody else is doing, I'm going to get what everybody else is getting. So I got to be willing to do a little bit more, go the extra mile, get an extra workout in, go to yoga, go stretch, go do something extra that everybody else isn't doing, because that's the only way you're going to get ahead. So I know that was more than one thing, but
hey, that was perfect. Coming from an expert, we'll take it, right? So Devon, can't thank you enough. Great way to finish the show. Really appreciate it. Look forward to doing it again. And thank you guys for tuning in to NIL 360 EDU.